Make your move, boy.
Oh, yeah, make your move for futures betting. We're going to look into some player prop futures, strikeouts and homers, the sexy eye candy that we love.
Where would our winter be without all this prop stuff?
It's good, and it's out so early this year. You know, sometimes this player prop stuff doesn't come out until spring training at earliest, but FanDuel's put stuff up really early. And let's start with some strikeout numbers. Garrett Crochet has a strikeout prop this year of 199.5. I think it's a really fascinating number. He got there last year in fewer innings than we would anticipate his throwing this year.
How many did he have last year?
He had over 200 in, 140 innings or something like that?
Wow.
I mean, if you think that he stays healthy this year and that the Red Sox are going to be competitive, you're going to want him with the ball every 5 days. I don't go over on a lot of these, but I think that he could get there. I think he could get to 200 punch this year.
Yeah, I definitely do. Here's why. I got a baseball thought. The big money teams that he's going to be playing against in the East strike out more because it's more power. The Central, the Guardians are not going to strike out. We got to put the ball in play. Kansas City putting the ball in play. He played against those clubs. Now he's playing against the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Orioles. These guys are going for downtown. He's going to get more strikeouts.
All right. Yeah, I don't hate that philosophy. So we'll say over on Garrett Crochet. This one's interesting, too. Roki Sasaki is going to open the season with the Dodgers. You know he's going to be a part of the opening day rotation, but there's like 17 starters there now.
Right.
They're going to be in the six-man rotation because of Yamamoto and because of Sasaki, the Japanese pitchers that require that kind of rest between starts. I think this depends, the number of strikeouts at 154.5 depends on how many starts you see him projected for. It's going to be limited. It's not going to make 32 starts. It's not going to give you 200 innings.
True.
So that's why the number's a little lower. What are your thoughts on 154?
I say 150 probably. I mean, his stuff's going to be electric. He's going to punch out a lot of guys in games. But it's going to be limited because they want him for the postseason run. The Dodgers are going to be a playoff team. And I think what we saw last year with Walker Buehler, how they brought him back for the postseason. When you have this kind of depth and this kind of money, you don't have to rush guys. He's not injured, but he doesn't have to go out there and pitch all the time. You can bring him along and make sure that this kid is peaking at the postseason.
So the Landon Knacks and Gavin Stones and guys like that, they're going to get a lot of starts in the middle of the season while Sasaki's resting, while Yamamoto's resting.
And he's pitched his whole life. Think about this, with a six-man rotation. In Japan, once a week, right? So now you're going to bring a guy over here who's 22, 23. I'm not pitching him in a normal five-man rotation.
It's a tough number. That's why it's tough, right? We don't know what the workload's going to be like. Let's go to some homer numbers. And a group of players for whom you get plus money, and that means, you know, a $100 bet returns you 104, say, on Kyle Tucker. These are all guys that would hit 30 plus at this kind of return. So if you think Kerry Carpenter's good for 30 homers, your $100 bet wins you 340 back. This is an interesting list. Pick out a guy here that you're interested in. It can be somebody that's, you know, more chalky or one of the guys that pays better. Somebody that's going to hit 30.
I think every guy on that board, there's like 3 or 4 that might fall a little bit short. But
I mean, Harper finished just shy of it this year.
Yeah, 30 is a good number, but I think they're all capable, or else they wouldn't be on this board.
But Bryce hit exactly 30. Maybe I think his number was 30.5.
I mean, obviously, Mike Trout is the most curious.
Yeah, that's
if he hits 30, that means he was healthy.
That's where my eyes go.
And so Dela Cruz, I think he jumps up to that 30 homer.
Ooh,
he does that. We're looking at an MVP type candidate, and Terry Francona's got a team off and running.
I don't know about that. You know, Bryce
I don't see Duran hitting 30. I don't see Carpenter hitting 30. I don't see Freddie Freeman hitting 30. Bellinger's going to be tough to get there. I don't see Mookie hitting 30, not guaranteed. Lindor not guaranteed at 30. 30's a good number.
30's, you know, this ain't 1998 when little guys are hitting 40. Interesting. By the way, Bryce's individual home run prop this year is at 26.5.
I'll take that.
Oh, get me to the window right now.
Wow.
20. He's going to hit 27 homers. How about some other players?
Last year, All-Star break before he got injured.
Right, that's right. How about some other players? What about Aaron Judge? Our eyes are always going to go to what his total is. 48.5.
I think he has another 50-homer year.
Oh, my gosh.
He's in one of those grooves. We were talking about this before, about Mahomes, before we came on air, that right now there's certain guys that are in a groove that you say, you're not winning MVP as long as he's playing the way he is. He's healthy. That's Aaron Judge.
Well, let me ask you this question. Does he get the same kind of lineup protection with Bellinger and company that he did with Soto? Or do we overstate that?
Well, no, he will because he hit behind Soto.
Good point.
And so I kept saying flip him when Judge went through that scuffle. They never did.
Yeah.
So he's a better hitter because of it.
Good point.
What he went through.
Let's go to another one. Anthony Santander has changed uniforms. He stays in the division. He's not hitting in homer-friendly Baltimore, where right field is very reachable. Toronto has played more like a pitcher's park the last couple of years. I don't know if that's a function of their lineup or if that's just the way things are. He's at 30.5, and if you removed his 40-homer season from last year's back of the baseball card, 30 might feel like a stretch for him. But if you're looking at the recency bias and the guy that hit 40 last year,
he had 36 the year before that, right?
Was that it? Was it 36?
44.
Okay. So you're saying over?
I'm saying he gets to 30.
I'm saying stay away. I wouldn't say under, but I'm saying because the guy's changing ballparks, there's too much uncertainty. And
See,
Keith,
I always looked at Toronto as a great hitter's park.
Keith, what were the last 2 years for him?
28 and 44.
28.
28 and 44.
44. So it makes it tough, right?
Yeah, it does.
Here, how about this one? Last one of these. Yordan Alvarez, and if you think that Yordan's going to stay healthy and give you 550 plate appearances, I say he sneezes and gets to 34 homers.
Yeah.
I like this over.
That's an over.
He's just got
Even if he DHs, that's an over.
Yeah. He's just got to stay healthy. You can say that for all these guys, of course, because, you subtract more than 2 weeks worth of at-bats, and all of a sudden these figures are hard to get to.
So let me ask you this. Of the guys we just talked about, we just showed, who's the best hitters? Who's the best hitter? Like, we talked about 33 home runs, 30 homers, 48 homers, the numbers that need to get over. But who's like, this guy's going to hit?
And you're not talking just about homers.
Yeah, just his approach plays, and so therefore he's going to have big numbers.
I think Kyle Tucker's on my list.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's the guy he's not the household name outside of baseball circles that Aaron Judge is, that Mookie Betts is, right?
Yeah.
If it was a star thing, like you can pick from the stars too, like it's hard to get away from.
I'm concerned about Wrigley a little bit.
Are you?
For Kyle Tucker.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Mookie. If we count superstars, Mookie's the best hitter on the list for me.
I tell you what, I'm looking at Aaron Judge.
Okay.
He is such a great hitter. He's still going to hit for a high average, and he's going to hit 60 homers.
All right, well, if you're worried about Wrigley, maybe Keith Costas can help us. Keith rejoins the program to discuss the Chicago teams. Dansby Swanson and the Cubs, and what's happening on the other side of town. Keith Costas in America's Windy City next.
We have always had problems with this guy right here.
Well, he's...
No money, but I'm here still singing my song.
Yeah, we're going to drag out the slot machine. There's still some very good players that are out there via free agency, and we'll try to find homes for some of them. Let's give it the first spin, see which player comes up in all three windows, and we can find a home for said player. We've got time for maybe, 3 or 4 of these such spins.
Let's do it. Let's sit.
Jack Flaherty is still out there. I got a spot for Jack.
What do you got?
Might be a little homery. SoCal kid. The Angels, I like what the Angels have done, bringing in, veteran guys. You say Kikuchi, Kyle Hendrickson, and other right-handers. Tyler Anderson's in the last year of his deal there. They could use another veteran starter. Yeah. What about the Angels for Jack Flaherty?
Well, it's a great reboot. Maybe he says, I'm going there for a year. All right, I didn't get what I wanted. I'm going to go play there for a year, go show everybody once again what I can do, and redo my contract. And, yeah, in that sense, it makes total sense. If that's what he's thinking.
And the 1-year thing, for sure, I hear what you're saying, but maybe there's a multi-year deal there for him.
I would hope for a multi-year deal, but again, I think he's being caught in the same window that we're seeing with Pete Alonso and with Bregman. And their camp is still searching for multi-year deals.
Right.
With the thought of, well, then go back 1 year and see what you can do.
You got a team for him, or should we spin it again?
Let's spin it.
All right, let's spin it again.
We've talked about him, a bunch of teams.
We have. No, that's right. There's a lot of need for him. Up next, round and round they go.
Where they stop, only Matt knows.
Carlos Estevez. You know, you feel like it would be a postseason ready team, and there's been some connection to the Reds, who apparently are in pursuit of a back of the bullpen piece. And if you believe the Reds are ready to win, which in that division, why wouldn't they, with a new manager and some changes? Yeah. That makes sense to me. How about Cincinnati?
It makes sense. How about Houston?
Oh,
they just traded Presley away.
So you're talking him from the right side, and then Hader from the left.
From the left.
Ooh, I like that idea too.
And you know, you got back what you were looking to do with Presley, and open the door and see what happens.
Oh, we could, you know, pick an AL West team and put him in there.
I had him Yankees here.
Oh gosh, another big ticket item there.
Yeah,
it's not a bad call either. All right, let's spin it again. See who comes up. I see some
who's closing for the
familiar faces in there. Oh,
we
come
got
on.
Devin Williams closing.
Come on.
Grab your lightning rod.
Yeah, go. Oh. Well, Lauren's off this week. So
Lauren's a lifetime Washington Nationals. She's not going anywhere.
A lot of yoga classes this week for Lauren. Let's spin it again. Actual free agent. Yeah, Devin Williams has that job locked down.
Yeah, that's him.
Ooh, Ha-Sung Kim.
That's your guy.
Yeah. Look, they loved him there, man. I mean, Bob Melvin was the one that was out there saying, look, this guy is probably a better shortstop at this point than Xander Bogaerts, which at the time we were all like, what are you talking about? But you watch him play and you like him more and more. I got a suggestion. I mean, Perdomo's there in Arizona. Why not add to your middle infield depth if you're the Diamondbacks and bring in a guy from the division? You not only strengthen your own middle infield, you weaken the Padres. And if you're really serious about trying to chase down the Dodgers, or at least be ready to contend with them in the postseason, you can't have too much. And I got Ha-Sung Kim going to the desert. Thoughts, concerns?
I would send him back to San Diego. I mean, you got a manager who knows how to use him, and you know that you're going to run into, as Xander, he's not going to play 162 games. You know, you're going to end up having him, you're going to need him, put it that way.
Okay.
Going to need him to play.
His market's probably right there in the NL West.
Yeah.
We haven't even opened our minds to anybody else. We're going to take a break now that we've solved all those problems in the world. Steve Phillips will join us with what he thinks is the big problem in this disconnect between Pete Alonso, his camp, and the only uniform he's ever known. Fill in the scorecard next on Hot Stove.
There's a lot of good.
いよいよまた興奮のシーズンがやってくる。ストーブリーグを経て新たな戦力が加わり、各チームがどのような形でシーズンを迎えるのか、その期待感に胸を躍らせるのは毎年のことながら、決して飽きることはない。特に今季はすでに様々な注目ポイントがあり、ファンとしては語り尽くせないほどの話題が揃っている。未来を予測しながら、これからの展開に想像を巡らせるのは、ファンにとって最高の楽しみの一つだろう。今回の話題の中心は、個人の成績予想、選手のホームラン数、奪三振数、シーズン中の起用法、そしてそれぞれの選手がチームにどのような影響を与えるのか、データを元にした分析だけでなく、これまでの経験則や直感も交えながら、今季の展望を考えていく。皆さんも自分なりの予想を立てながら、ぜひこの議論に参加してほしい。まず注目したいのは、ホワイトソックスからレッドソックスへ移籍した ギャレット・クロシェの奪三振数だ。昨年は限られたイニング数の中で200奪三振を超えるペースで投球し、シーズンを通して投的な三振奪取能力を見せつけた。今年はより多くのイニングを投げることが予想され、200系のラインは決して高すぎるハードルではない。むしろ彼の成長を考慮すると、この数字は十分に達成可能な目標に見える。さらに、彼の今季の登板環境を考えると、奪三振の数が伸びる可能性はさらに高まる。昨シーズンまでは主に ALC、ENT、RAL のチームと対戦していたが、今季からは AL、EA、AST での戦いがメインになる。ガーディアンズやイヤルズのようにコンタクトを重視するチームと対戦する機会が減り、代わりにパワーヒッターが多いヤンキース、ブルージェイズ、オリオールズといった強打のチームと対戦することになる。これにより、三振を奪う機会が自然と増える可能性がある。クロシェが今季どのような投球を見せるのか注目していきたい。次に取り上げたいのは、今季からドジャースでプレーする佐々木朗までの奪三振数154号というラインは、一見すると低く感じるかもしれない。しかし、そこには彼がメジャー1年目で適応するためのさまざまな要素が関係している。まず、ドジャースは今季、山本由伸と佐々木朗までのために6人ローテーションを採用する予定だ。これは日本での登板間隔を考慮したものであり、彼らの体にかかる負担を最小限に抑えながらシーズンを戦っていく狙いがある。そのため、通常の先発投手よりも登板数が少なくなる可能性が高い。もし登板数が25試合程度に限られると、154奪三振という数字は決して低くはなく、むしろギリギリのラインに設定されていることがわかる。とはいえ、佐々木のピッチングはメジャーでも十分に通用することが期待されている。日本で見せた160キロを超える速球と鋭く変化するフォークボールはメジャーアリーグの打者にとっても脅威となることは間違いない。実際、彼が登板する試合では1試合あたり810個の三振を奪うことが期待できるため、シーズンを通して安定したパフォーマンスを発揮できれば、154奪三振を超える可能性は十分にある。ただし、ドジャースは彼を長期的に育成する方針を取る可能性もあり、その点には注意が必要だろう。今季のホームラン王争いも見逃せない。特に注目されるのは、アーロン・ジャッジの48-5本というライン。昨年の活躍を考えれば、彼が50本以上のホームランを打つ可能性は十分にある。特に今年はヤンキースの打線が大幅に強化され、彼の前後を打つ打者の影響でより多くの打席を得られる可能性がある。一方で、ブライス・ハーパーの26-5本というラインは、やや低めに設定されている印象がある。彼の打撃能力を考えれば、27本以上打つことは十分に可能だ。昨シーズンは、怪我の影響で一部の試合を欠場したが、今年は健康を維持できれば、30本を超えることも十分に視野に入るだろう。また、今季は新人選手やブレイクが期待される若手にも注目したい。例えば、エリー・デラクルーズは、今季30本塁打の壁を超える可能性がある選手の一人だ。もし彼がこの数字に到達すれば、MVP 級の活躍を見せる可能性も十分にある。MLB のシーズンが始まると、選手たちはフィールドで全力を尽くすが、ファンの応援もまたチームにとっての大きな力となる。試合の結果だけではなく、その過程にある選手たちの奮闘、そして歓喜の瞬間を共に楽しもう。特に今季は 多くの新戦力が加わり、リーグ全体の勢力図が大きく変わる可能性がある。これまでの常識が通用しないシーズンになるかもしれない。そんな予測不能な展開こそが野球の魅力の一つだろう。これからも最新の予想、分析、試合レビューをお届けしていくので、チャンネル登録がまだの方は、ぜひ登録をお願いしたい。皆さんのコメントや意見も大歓迎なので、ぜひ予想をシェアし、一緒に MLB の熱狂を味わおう。それでは、また次の動画でお会いしよう。コメント欄で皆さんの予想を待っている。